Are you ready? To get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Friday, November 18th or 19th, 2021, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube. But if you are on YouTube, please go down and hit that subscribe button. I believe it might be red. If it's not red, it says subscribe on it. Just, do me a favor and knock that button out for me so we get the subscribers up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, a couple interesting things have happened today. We had Dallas Goedert signing a 4-year extension worth $57 million. And then Tim Patrick, the wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, been playing pretty solid this year. Got a 3-year, $34.5 million extension. But we're not here to talk about that today. Today is Fantasy Football Friday. And before we get to the start of the show, we have two guest hosts here with me, like always. The first one in which he had a magnificent show in Iowa City, Iowa this past weekend. It seemed like it went pretty good. We'll ask him about that here briefly in just a second. But ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Y4. The other man, it is not the other guest host who sits in this lovely chair right here to my right, maybe your left of the screen, maybe the right of the screen actually. He has a concert up right. I'm excited. He has some new music on the way. I believe some has dropped as well. What is it, Red Solo Cup or something like that? That'll be a banger of a song. And he has come up with an interesting little web design here. But we'll talk to him about that as well. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Logan Baumgart. Dogs are cheering.
Everyone's cheering.
Everyone's cheering. How's it going, boys?
It's going great.
It's been a minute, since last Friday we were here, I think,
Yep.
I believe.
Indeed.
So let's get let's start off the show with talking about your show. How'd the show go?
Show was awesome. Very euphoric feeling afterwards. The energy was up. Crowd was amazing. Definitely will be going back to Iowa City. Yeah, it just seems like things are in the right direction for Logan and I.
So what'd you think was different about this show compared to all the other ones?
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just the place it was, if that's just how the community is there, but the energy was definitely different from any other show that I've been.
Just a different venue, different eyes on it, different ears listening to the music. They all seem to, from the videos I was seeing, they're all seeming to kind of groove to it. They actually liked it. I felt like it. It looked like a really, really good show, especially down there in Iowa City, Iowa. That was his first time performing outside the state. Am I correct?
Second or third, I think. Our first one was in Eau Claire.
Okay,
Then I also had another one in Eau Claire for Kirk O'Banks.
Second and third, yeah.
Okay, I do remember that. That's awesome. Well, hey, we're growing. We're getting there eventually. It does seem like we're growing in our how do you want to say it? Our professions or our
goals.
You get goals. There you go. That's a good way to put it. That's awesome. And besides the fact, so both these guys, they rap, they do their thing. They go out there, they perform basically. It's not just rap or whatever. They go out and perform. All right. But Logan has made it easier for fans to really connect with these two. Logan, do you want to kind of talk about what you did with a website, a web design?
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest goals over the last couple of years was to get just a direct website for people to go and sign up so they can get part of an email list. So we can directly send out things to people because things get clouded and lost in social media a lot of times. So LoganBaumgart.com and y-4music.com, both those you can sign up and we'll email you new merch, music, everything directly. You'll get it first before anybody else does. So just an easier way to connect with everybody who is truly paying attention. So
now, other people in the industry, do they do stuff like this, have their own websites so that they can reach out to fans first? Or do they just kind of, mainstream?
One of the craziest things now is there's a lot of OnlyFans type subscriptions that a lot of artists have where you can pay $2.99 a month. And they'll drop music on there, 2 months in advance before they drop it on Spotify or whatever. So I think that's a growing thing is where we're going to be subscribing to our favorite artists to get music first and get merchandise first before it sells out. So
do you think that's where those leaks come from?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most likely.
I think it's probably a purposeful thing too, because then there's a lot of hype around it. And once it actually drops on the main platforms,
Yep.
So
So like they can go in obviously to either loganbaumgart.com, y-4music.com, and like all they have to do is enter their email and they get put on a list, and
Yep.
it's you guys can just be one-on-one basically with them.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So you guys are getting merch together.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Final stages of mine. We still need to design some up for Y4, but
Heck yeah, that'll be awesome. You guys got to get your merch. As you know, we got some of the Get Your Fricks merch here today. John has his on. I have mine on. He has his Baker Mayfield jersey on, which we'll talk a little bit about that situation in a little bit when Fantasy Football Friday segment gets underway. But I think first things first, we got to talk about last night's Monday Night Football game between the New England Patriots and the Falcons, in which the Patriots demolished the Falcons 25-0. You guys' initial thoughts on last night's game?
Patriots are for real. I think they've proved it now. That's 5th win in a row, and their last 2 wins have been absolutely dominant. Obviously, 45-7 against Cleveland, 25-0 against the Falcons.
Mhm.
And they're rolling.
Another thing, their losses are to very good football teams, and they were not blowouts.
Yeah.
That's one thing that really worries me about this Patriots team. Yeah, they're looking like the Patriots are supposed to look.
Yeah.
And to go off that point or whatever, I did go look and see who they've played and who they've lost to and like won against, and that was one thing that really piqued my interest. I was like, oh, wait, all their losses are against really good teams, and all their wins seem to be against those either bad teams or those teams that are like on the line of almost being good or almost being bad kind of thing. And it's like, well, are they for real?
Those losses came early in the season.
And they did start 2-4, and now they're 7-4 on the season.
Yeah,
I mean,
5 in a row.
they're getting hot at the right moment in the NFL. I mean, the Falcons are sitting at 4-6. I think their true colors, like I noted this yesterday, where their true colors are really, really showing, and they're not looking like a good football team. I think this is the football team that we all thought was going to happen, or how this was going to happen, I guess, at the beginning of the season for the Falcons. But I mean, to get shut out by the New England Patriots, I believe this was the first shutout for the Falcons. I think they said it last night. I want to say it was over 200, and maybe over 250 some days or something like that. Or it was just absolutely ridiculous. I was like, wow, okay. I feel like the Falcons should have been shut out maybe last year and the year before that, because they really haven't had anything and any good luck really happen. I mean, they lose Calvin Ridley this year. They lose Cordero Patterson for last night's game. I think that was a big miss or a big injury for the Falcons, not having Cordero Patterson on that football field last night. Because if he's in, I think we have a little closer game, a little bit better of a battle. But New England took that like it was nothing. And one guy on that team, Mac Jones.
Yep.
Mac fucking Jones is a guy. Like, this man balls out. Apparently, he's only the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to start 5-0 on the road.
Wow.
Since Ben Roethlisberger, I think he did it in 2000, whenever he was drafted, 2004, I think it was, maybe later or sooner than that. And then Dak Prescott in 2016. So he's only the 3rd quarterback to go 5-0 on the road to start his career. I mean, I think this guy, he's the dude for New England. If he goes anywhere else, I don't think he performs this way. I think
If he goes to the Jags,
Yeah.
nope.
Jets. Yeah.
49ers, nope. Patriots is the perfect spot for him. He's not the most athletic. Doesn't even seem to be the most talented. But he fell into the right hands of Bill Belichick, and he knows how to win with him.
And for some reason, I would during this game last night, I was just thinking, because the Tom Brady documentary obviously came out, Man in the Arena, and how he ended up getting that starting role. And it was an unfortunate situation for Drew, but when you're looking at Mac and the way he's coming up and he's starting and he's playing like this, it really reminds me a lot of when Tom first started. Like, this guy who doesn't look athletic, doesn't have that build. Really, he went to Alabama and Tom went to Michigan, so those are 2 top schools in the collegiate level. But just the way Mac is kind of, I don't know, he looks exactly like how Tom Brady did when he came out,
Right.
Performance-wise, and I guess you could say physically wise, but
I found some stat comparisons, and Mac Jones has a higher completion percentage. He's on pace to have the same amount of touchdowns as Tom had,
Wow.
with 2 less picks.
I think Tom had 16-3, and
I think it was 21 14.
Okay.
And Mac Jones is projected to have 21 and 11.
Okay. Because he is, I think, through first 10 games, I think Mac Jones is like 13-3, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and Brady had like 16 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Almost exactly the same.
Yeah, like literally all those stats they were showing, I was like, okay.
Yeah, Mac, I think, has 7 right now. And I can't remember how many touchdowns.
So-
Mac Jones 14 touchdowns this year, 8 interceptions.
Yeah,
so.
and also he's throwing the ball at a 70.2% completion percentage. He has 2,540 yards passing this season. And last night he did really, really solid. He was, completing passes left and right. As of right now, he is a check down quarterback. And I think a lot of rookies at the start of your career, to be successful, you kind of have to be a check down guy where you're going to, 75% of the time, you're going to be throwing to those, short routes, those shallow routes, and then all of a sudden, that 25, or the rest of the 25%, you're going to hit someone deep like he has Aguilar, like he has N'Keal Harry and Kendrick Bourne, and Nelson Aguilar, I guess I should say. But last night, 22 of 26, 207 yards passing, had a touchdown, also had an interception. But I think that interception came a little late, if I'm not mistaken. It was like in the third, or it might have been in the third quarter, maybe early fourth.
You just look over his last 5 games. I think he's a big reason statistically here why the Patriots are on a roll. The last 5 games, he's got 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
That's
So,
huge.
obviously, rolling for a rookie, those are incredible numbers. He's got 3 games over 200 yards, 1 over 300 yards. So just incredible performances.
And honestly, what?
Defense looks like to be the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, they are picking it up. And that's what Bill's been known about. Like,
Yep.
He was their defensive coordinator, and he's really molded that team. Defense wins championships. That's the old saying and the old mantra or whatever. And, it is true to an extent, especially, like, if you look at, the way Tampa Bay's defense played against Kansas City in that Super Bowl, the whole playoffs, basically, and the way Green Bay's defense just couldn't hold off the San Francisco 49ers in that run game, and that's what sent the 49ers to the Super Bowl, where Green Bay, if their defense would have just been able to stop that run, they're there. But a really, really good game last night. And, for me, I would have to say Mac Jones at this point is the early front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Unless Jamar Chase just continues to do what he does, but at the same time, it's like last year we seen Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson go head to toe. We each had ridiculous numbers, ridiculous stats for rookies, and ultimately, like they always fucking do, give it to the quarterback.
Yeah, it's going to go to the quarterback
And
most of
I
the
think
time.
Mac's going to get this one, for sure. And, last night Matt Ryan struggled. I think Atlanta needs to figure out a lot over there. I'm not sure if it's necessarily... Yeah, but he took a beating.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation where they're saying, okay, they might need to find a new quarterback, which I understand. Matt Ryan is getting older. He's getting towards that time where it might be time to hang up the cleats, basically. But that offensive line, that is ridiculous. He had no time at all the whole entire night. Once they figured something out, it was over. Like, right from the beginning. Lots of sacks. They were right there. I think it was like, I want to say a lot of the time they were 2 and 4, or 2nd and 4, or 3rd and 4. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, shit, we're 3rd and 16 because our offensive line can't stop Christian Barrymore, who is also a rookie, from getting into the pocket, causing chaos, and down they go. But
I think he's the one who had the big hit on Baker last week, right?
I think you're right. Yeah,
The one that sent him out of the
He's
game.
been playing ridiculous, like out of his mind. One of the candidates, I'd say, for Defensive Rookie of the Year, not maybe the front runner. I think that might be Micah Parsons. But I'd have to also go dig into that a little deeper. Because defense, I feel like as much as you could stand out of being, like a defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year, it's like, there's a lot of people you could say have done really, really good things defensively. It's just, do the stats say that? We're not really sure, but not only did Matt Ryan throw 2 picks last night, Felipe Franks threw a pick, and good old Josh Rosen also threw a pick. I didn't even know he was on the Atlanta Falcons.
That guy's a legend.
Yeah,
He
he
is.
is a legend.
Favorite quarterback of all time.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What
Hey, famous quote, I'm not going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Cleveland.
We should have. I probably should have.
Or the where he said there's been 9 mistakes made before me.
Lamar Jackson being one of them, right?
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes probably being one of them too. Like, oh my goodness, yeah, Josh, it sucks, man.
No.
Yeah, he
He's
sucks.
bad.
Like it's
It's
bad. I think he's their third string. What the hell?
He might be out of a job here soon, folks. He's been all over the place.
Maybe the
49ers,
XFL?
Dolphins.
For Josh.
There we go.
There you go.
Hey, he's coming back next year. Maybe the fan controlled football league. I
There we
mean,
go. Arena football league.
Yeah, I think
possibly?
he belongs in the fan control football league. I see him in the XFL.
Right.
I like the XFL.
I couldn't cheer for him in the XFL either, so
He'd be ass.
but
there,
what I
too.
mean, what if he goes off and then
No.
everyone's like,
he's not
won't.
gonna go off.
he's
No.
It was kind of crazy too, because like he was supposed to be the man.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was supposed
A
to
lot of
be that
people
dude.
thought it for a while. You know, it was between him, Baker, and Darnold for first round pick in
Ain't gonna lie.
2018. So
His nose just.
yeah,
That's what made me think he was never going to
He
succeed.
doesn't that nose. Oh, that's awesome. Well, you know the New England Patriots did a really good job. They're getting hot, real nice here at the perfect time in the season. 7-4 on the season. I'm not 100% sure. I think they'd still be considered tied with the Bills, or actually no, below the Bills, because I went and did their 7 divided by 11 was still a worse win percentage than 6 divided by 4 for the Buffalo Bills, or no,
They're
6
6-3. Yeah, Bills are 6-3, and the Patriots are 7-4. So they're still sitting at second place.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, hey, they're playing some good football as of recent. 25-0 victory over the Falcons last night, and Week 11 is officially kicked off. If Nash would just shut his mouth every once in a while, that'd be great. But hey, that's what we live for, I guess. But let's get to fantasy football, huh? Shall we? It's fantasy football Friday. Me and Logan had a battle last week. I ended up coming away with the short stick. I lost, but Logan, you're sitting at 5-5, fourth in the division. You gotta demolish AB this week. I mean, you just have to beat. You're in trouble. That's a big thing. But one kind of thing I noticed when I was glancing over your team there, and has been for the last couple weeks, it feels like no more Browns starting.
well, let's look here. So Nick Chubb, I've started every week except for the week he was injured, and this week I will be starting him. The reason I didn't have him in my starters so far is because he wasn't cleared for COVID, but this afternoon officially cleared. Him and Demetri Felton are both back.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be Nick Chubb and Jarvis Landry, and then the Browns defense versus the Lions, which I feel pretty confident about. So at home in Cleveland. So
that'll be big. So what are you most looking forward to for your matchup this week? What's gonna happen here?
well, it looks like he has not substituted some players,
You're
3
gonna
players here.
kick his ass.
Oh, he's 2-8. I didn't realize that. Okay.
He didn't replace anybody for me that couple weeks.
All
ago.
right. Well, I mean, last week, can we just talk about that for a second? Y4 and I were hanging out, and we were looking, and I was down, I believe, like 131 to 50, something like that.
Something like that.
And I had given up, pretty much accepted that I was going to lose and just had to look at the second half of the season here. But a miracle happened.
Yeah.
Something that never happens.
Bullshit happened.
99.99 points from 3 chief players, Patrick Mahomes.
I would have fucking won too if it weren't for
Tyreek Hill,
Damian
and,
Williams or whatever the hell his name is.
and Williams. So, I mean, just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Patrick Mahomes has kind of shit the bed for me all season, except for last week where he got me 42 points. But
Dude, fucking
wow.
I was watching that game and I was watching our fantasy matchup and I'm like, all right, we this should be in the bag. Each of them have to average 29 points. We're there. All that we have to do is not get the ball. Their running back, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes just has to get off the field as quickly as possible. Fucking Patrick Mahomes said, drops back and just
5
launches
touchdowns.
it, and I'm like, well, who's he throwing this ball to? It better not be the running back or anybody else. And it is the running back. Catches it in the end zone, fucking touchdown, game over, get your fix, loses. The fixtures got shit on because of that touchdown. And so, yeah, it was just brutal.
Yeah, we were at the show, so we weren't even watching the game. I didn't even know that I had won until about 11 a.m. the next morning when John texted me.
I was
So
pissed. I looked at it, I was like, well, that's the game. I'm like, nice. I'm like, great.
Unbelievable.
Gotta love them.
That was,
Hate those ones.
it was awful.
Hate them. Love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never happens.
Until it
to me,
happens to
so.
you.
I mean, if I was looking at just statistically here in the league overall, I have the most points against me of any other team, and I have the second least points for me. So, I mean, really, I shouldn't be 5-5 probably. I've had a lot of close wins. So
You're sitting right there, 4. You're still going to make the playoffs so far,
Yeah.
but there is, counting this week, I believe 11, 12. 34 to 15. Six weeks counting this week
Yep.
in the regular season, because I think week 17 and week 18 are the playoffs. And I like doing the 17-18. A lot of people don't like doing the last week because you never know if the stars are going to be starting, if they're going to the playoffs. So, like, all your people on your bench are kind of gone. But for me, it's like, you're in the championship. You got to be paying attention somehow. Like, you got to figure this shit out on your own. Like, if your starting quarterback or both of your quarterbacks aren't playing that in week 18, figure it out. Like, go to free agency, pick somebody up, basically. You got to be that, the GM, the better GM will end up winning that week. That's kind of why I like the week 18. Or I thought about doing it week 17, having it the last, but I was like, I mean, you just got to have the whole fucking season in there.
Yeah.
You got to, especially
Right.
with an extra week. It's like, let's go. That's huge. That's an extra chance to move up a spot, move down a spot, change the standings. So, for John, you're sitting at 6-4. You're second in the division, and you're going up. I mean, you're on a 2-game win streak right now. That must feel pretty good.
Does feel good.
And you're taking on John Cole or Team Cole, and you gotta take him down.
He beat me the first time we played.
Yep.
He's sitting pretty. I am projected to beat him. I like my guys. Still debating on the Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. We'll see what I come up with there. But yeah, I like how I'm looking this week, and I think that I'm going to keep the streak going and end his. I think he has a 6-game win streak. John does. So
Yeah, I think he does.
I like my chances of my 3-game win streak versus him getting a 7-game win streak.
I think,
Not likely.
yeah, it could be. Basically because, I mean, John had Kyle Pitts start, and Kyle Pitts only put up 5.9 points last night. I mean, you have Mark Andrews as your tight end. I think Andrews will do a little bit more work than what Kyle did. I mean, they're playing Chicago. They're at Chicago. It's a noon game. I think he shines in those games. But Lamar's going to have to figure it out. Yeah, your quarterback situation, I'm not really sure, because you got two guys that can go off, but two guys that you're like, oh, which one's going to do a little bit better?
Yeah,
You know?
both are very reliable fantasy quarterbacks. Both are most likely going to get you 20 points. I think Jalen Hurts has 2 games this year where he hasn't had at least 20 points.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and it was
That had to just end
12.25, 18.3, and the rest are 20 plus. And he has a few 30 in there. So
That's huge, especially losing Miles Sanders. I think he might have to be your go-to, but that New Orleans Saints team, or that defense, they're hit. I guess it's just like Chicago's, hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like, you never know how good they're going to be or how bad they're going to be. But this will be a big win for you, because you set John down to 8-3, and then you would be 7-4. So, and that's 1 game closer to first place. And you are currently not tied, I believe, with anybody. No. So Logan and Austin are tied at 5-5.
this is 1 and 2. Big game.
That'll be huge.
Big game.
You've only played him once this year,
Yeah, when he beat me.
so there's 1-1 on the year if you win. That'd be huge, especially for final standings. If you guys are tied and stuff, that's big. What are you most looking forward to, I guess, out of this matchup, other than
Let's
the
see.
win?
When I look here, I'm looking to see what Christian McCaffrey can do for me. He had a pretty good game his first week back.
Really good
last
game,
week.
wasn't it? 23 points, something like that.
Did he really have that much?
I think it was pretty
I think
close
he-
to that. I
He
think
had
he
a
balled
pretty
out.
solid game.
Yeah, he had 26 points.
Yeah,
It's
there you
impressive. I also picked up James Conner on the waiver wire. He's been doing really good lately.
Touchdown machine.
Yes,
think he's
he
leading.
gets a
He's in
live
Arizona,
touchdown. Yep, and he's playing against Seattle. Seattle is not a good run defense right now.
No.
And 2 weeks ago when he played a bad run defense, he had 40.3 points. So really excited to see what he can do. Him and Christian McCaffrey, my 2 running backs.
And for me, well, I'm sitting at 4-6, 5th in the division, in my own league. That's just fan-fucking-tastic. But this week's gonna be a tough one. I gotta go against Austin again. I haven't looked back previously to see what the record is between us. I might be 0-1 against him, to be completely honest. I'm not 100% sure. But I think I should win this one, mainly due to the running back situation on both sides. You know, I got Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook starting as my running backs, where he has Myles Gaskin and DeAndre Swift. Now, Swift could obviously, ball out, but he is playing Cleveland. We know what their defensive front's about. We know what their defense, plain and simple, has been about, except for last week, I guess, 45-7.
Right.
Shit show of a game for the Browns. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Nobody does.
Yeah, it was. I mean, wow.
Patriots are just that good.
They are. They're a good team. I think that's a lot of that has to do with Bill.
Y4 did pick the Patriots last week.
So did I.
You did?
No, I didn't.
No, as I said, I thought he was the only one of us three. So.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a fun matchup. Boston's at 5-5. If I beat him, I'd be 5-6. He'd be 5-6. We'd be right there. And even if you lose, which I hope you don't, 'cause I don't think you're going to.
That'd be rough.
That'd be even bigger for me, I think. But for what I'm most looking forward to, I think, in this matchup, is really, I think it's going to come down to our flex players, our flex receivers, because he has Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase is his flex player, where I have Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, and Terry McLaurin. And it's like, I don't know what McLaurin's going to actually be able to do. He's been kind of banged up. But he did all right against the Packers, I think, last week. We have a question here. You want to go read that for me there?
I can actually see it here on my phone.
Awesome.
Would pick up Hubbard or Penny for backup?
Oh.
Are
you talking about Chris? If you're talking about Chris Hubbard, or what? Chuba Hubbard, excuse me.
Yeah, Chris Hubbard's the offensive lineman.
I would not pick him up, just based off the sole fact that Chris McCaffrey is healthy, and he is going to get a fuckload of reps. He's got to make up that time he missed, that separation of rushing yards between him and I think Jonathan Taylor's the leading running back, or close to, I want to say. I would definitely not pick up Hubbard. Now, if it's Rashad Penny, the running back for Seattle, I believe, he was activated, but I think they are going with Collins a little bit more. But again, I would definitely, out of those two, if you had to pick up one, go get Penny, just based off Chris Carson.
Yep.
He's done for the entire season. That was just announced a couple hours before the show.
Really?
Yeah, he had that ankle injury or whatever. They thought he was going to be good to go in 4 to 6 weeks. Turns out he's not. He's going to have season-ending surgery on his ankle. So he's done the entire season. So they're going to have to roll with Alec Collins, I think, and then Rashad Penny. So Chuba, if Christian McCaffrey goes down, that could be an option. But I would go with Penny on this one. And if there's other running backs that you could go pick up, feel free to shout them out.
Is Aaron Jones back?
No. I
So
don't think so.
AJ Dillon might be one that you might be able to get on the waiver wire.
Yeah, if no one has AJ Dillon.
I'd pick him up maybe. Damian Harris is on ours, but I don't know what his waiver wire looks like. But yeah, there's guys that you could definitely pick up on there that might be better choices than either one of those two.
Mm-hmm. And for future reference, what I would do is when I go looking at like picking somebody up, if you're going to go get a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end, I guess anyone, you want to look at who the starter is on that roster and see if they're healthy, how many carries they get, how many targets, little things like that, that separates themselves from the backups. But obviously, if the starter's hurt, go get their backup. But Penny in this situation, I would go get him, or like John said, AJ Dillon would be a good one. Any of the Patriots running backs, even though they already played, would be a good one. But there's a lot of options. Definitely go with Penny on that one for your fantasy team. Also depends on your record too. If you really don't care like losing 1 week, it wouldn't really matter as much. But if you need to win, go find that guy, the one that can set you apart from other people. But I think that is going to do it for our Fantasy Football Friday segment. We are going to, us three are going to end up picking our early MVP. So this is just what we think at this point, if it were to come down, season ends today, who is going to win the MVP, or who do we have winning the MVP? Now, according to the CBS Sports editorial panel, the top 10 that were listed for the MVP race, or what they're ranked at, I guess. So number 10 would be Patrick Mahomes, number 9, Matthew Stafford, 8, Jonathan Taylor, 7, Cooper Kupp, 6, Aaron Rodgers, 5, Josh Allen, 4, Lamar Jackson, 3, Dak Prescott, 2, Kyler Murray, and 1, Tom Brady. Do not agree with this. entirely. Tom Brady, I don't see as the front runner for MVP, anywhere near the front runner for MVP. Maybe a couple weeks ago, but he's been struggling as of late, so that probably shouldn't be number one. And then, I mean, why the hell? Like, why do you tease us with a wide receiver and a running back in there? Because we know there's no way in hell that a running any other position other than a quarterback is going to win the MVP. There's no way. And if there is a way, the only person that would have been able to do it, if he were healthy this year, would be Derrick Henry. 100% would be Derrick Henry if he was healthy. At this point, he would have.
So they had a wide receiver in there.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp at 7, and then Jonathan Taylor at 8.
I don't think a wide receiver has ever won an MVP.
No.
Yeah.
So who do you have, I guess, for your early MVP pick, John?
As of right now, after hearing those for the top 10, I know Rodgers ain't gonna win it ever again.
No.
I'm gonna have to say Dak Prescott. I think he has been playing consistently. Cowboys are playing really well.
Yeah, they are.
They're playoff team. He's a big part of the reason why they're winning. If he's not in, they aren't nearly as successful. He's a big impact. I would say that's my MVP so far this year is Dak Prescott.
And to go off that, Dak Prescott actually this year, he is about at 70.3 completion percentage, about 2,300 yards, 20 tutties, 5 picks, and on the ground he has 91 rushing yards, 1 tutty, 6 fumbles, in which he lost 3 of them. But I mean, quarterback, you're always going to be thinking about the pass more than the run. So that is a big pick. That is actually my close second pick, because after I seen those stats, I was like, God, I mean, what he's been able to do, and literally his entire career basically is just ball out. Even though they might not get the wins, they might not go to the playoffs and do well, he's been able to go out there and be a franchise quarterback for a team that has always had a franchise quarterback. I feel Troy Aikman, or Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Tony Romo, and now Dak Prescott. So that's a good. I do like that pick. I really do like Dak Prescott, because I think he's definitely going to be up there at the end of the season. So Logan, for you, what is your MVP pick?
I was thinking Dak Prescott as well. I think that he's consistently over his career been a really good quarterback, even though he gets a lot of hate because their records weren't necessarily as good as they should have been. Last year, I think 3 or 4 weeks after he was injured, he was still the leader in passing yards. Wow. So, yeah, Dak Prescott for sure.
And he did that too. What was it? I want to say it was last year after week 4. Having that bad ankle injury, he led the NFL in passing yards for like 4 weeks after that or something. 4 or 5 weeks. I do remember that. That was ridiculous. So what he's able to do with that organization, with that team, with that wide receiver group is unreal. So Dak is a good pick. But as I said, Dak is my close second pick, probably, right there if I had to choose. But my pick for MVP at this point, I'm going to have to say Kyler Murray. Just based off, this man he's been playing like a video game lately. He did lead the Cardinals to that 7-0 start since they were the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1974. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. And I think the last couple weeks, you've really seen how much the Cardinals have missed his presence. And he's practicing somewhat. It seems like he might start this week, but they might lay off because I think they got a bye next week.
I think that they're going to start him. It's a division game.
That's
true. What are they playing?
No. Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah, yep. That'll be a fun game. But on the year, he's 72.7 completion percentage, his 2,200 yards, 17 tutties, 7 picks, and 110.4 quarterback rating. He's also had 49 rushes, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has fumbled 7 times. But when you're a running quarterback, or when you're both a passing and running quarterback, it's going to be tough to kind of hang on to that ball, especially when you got, defensive players that want to kill you at any chance they get because they barely have the chance to even lay a finger on you. There's been ridiculous, roughing the passer penalties. Like that one where the guy jumped into him, he just jumped and hit him. I was like, oh, my bad. And they turned around and no, that's a flag. That's roughing the passer. No, it's not. What the hell is that? And then getting pushed into your quarterback, that's a roughing the passer. I don't think That should
Yeah,
have been
that was
called.
against Cleveland, that one against Kyler, where he just barely touched him.
Right? And it's just ridiculous. But for me, I got Kyler as the early MVP. But like I said, Dak Prescott's right there. Those two are probably more than likely going to be the MVP finalists. If I had to guess, I just don't understand why Tom and this is number one.
Yeah, I don't get that.
For Tom, I don't know. It's just he is what makes that team go. Like, he's the reason why that team's going to be successful. He's the reason that team has been successful. When he got there, the mentality changed there. So I think most valuable player on the team, Tom's not there, even though this is a very talented team. I mean, that's what a most valuable player is. He's carrying that team to places they never thought they
Well,
could go.
then you also look at if you with the recent struggles, I guess none of them are really. It doesn't look like on the same page 100%.
Yeah.
You put a different quarterback on there that hasn't been in the NFL for as long as Tom has. I think they struggle a lot more than that. But
And less likely to get it back on track because he's struggled before. He's been doing this how many years? He's gone through this. Everything will be fine in Tampa. And I can see that that's why he's the number one, but I'm still going with Dak.
oh yeah, nope, exactly. I think Tom he has some time to make up ground. They're still number one in their division. The Saints don't look like they're going to be getting any better, especially with Jameis Winston being out and Alvin Kamara being out this week. But they got Mark Ingram. That man's
If you're still watching, that might be a guy that you might be able to pick up, Mark Ingram.
Yep, go pick him up. Unless, there might be a chance where he's already taken, obviously. But I would definitely go try to get him in your lineup as quickly as possible. So now it is time. We just made our MVP selections. Both of these guys have Dak. I have Kyler. Both NFC, or all three of us picked NFC players. But now it is time to make our Week 11 game picks. And we had last night's game. We already started with that one. We all picked the New England Patriots to win. They capitalized. Thank you very much. How you doing? Keep it moving. So far on the season, I am sitting at 47-22 counting last night's game. John is 43-26 counting last night's game. And Logan is 30-39 counting last night's game. So he has some ground to make up. There's plenty of weeks to go forward here. But let's get started with the first game on Sunday. The Indianapolis Colts are traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills. Logan, your pick for that game?
I'm taking Buffalo.
Oh, I got Buffalo as well.
Taking Buffalo.
Heck yeah.
I just think they're going to start rolling.
Yeah, Buffalo is,
Yeah,
after that
kinda,
loss, there's no way. That is going to be a fun game, though, because the Colts are starting to play some good football, especially with Hard Knocks
It's
releasing
going to be
now.
a battle.
It's going to be a
I love
fun
it.
one. AFC division game, not division game, but an AFC league game. But next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens going to take on the Chicago Bears, which might be the Arlington Bears soon. But Logan, who do you have for this game?
I'm going to take Chicago on this one.
Okay, any reason?
I just think Baltimore's not looked as good the last 3 weeks, so Chicago's starting to look okay. They played really well in their last game there, that primetime game, so I'm going to take Chicago.
I am taking Baltimore in this game. Like I said on True Identity Tuesday, Lamar Jackson's that team's identity. And if you stop him, you stop the Ravens. But for some reason, I just don't think the Chicago Bears are going to be able to stop or slow him down at all. And even if they do, we've seen what Lamar's done in the past. All these comeback wins, these last quarter comeback wins. It's ridiculous what he's been able to do on that football field. I just don't see Chicago as the better football team sitting at 3-6. I got the Baltimore Ravens.
I got the Baltimore Ravens too, but the Bears have an advantage that most teams don't have as far as NFC teams. A lot of the AFC teams, they got a little bit more preparation towards Lamar Jackson and how he plays. But NFC teams, they only play him once every how many years.
Yeah.
So they don't get to see that game speed on actually how fast he is. The Bears having someone that, not nearly as good as Lamar, but having someone that can kind of simulate Lamar in practice can prepare them better than most NFC teams would be able to prepare. I'm still going with the Ravens. I think for the same reason why you picked the Bears. I'm picking the Ravens. I think that they start turning things around after that horrible, embarrassing loss to the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is gonna be another fun game. This is a close one, I think, especially with the way you just said it. They have Justin Fields to, emulate or kind of mirror what Lamar Jackson is capable of doing, and a lot of teams have had to do that in the past and trying to figure out how the hell to stop a fast guy out there. And it'll be tough. That'll be a fun game. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions going to take on the Logan's Cleveland Browns. Who do you got winning, Logan?
Cleveland.
Yeah, I figured. Cleveland.
I got Cleveland as well.
Yeah, I mean, after that 45-7 loss, there's no way.
They ain't going to lose to Detroit after that.
There's
They can't.
no way.
No.
One thing that does worry me, though, is the guy that you're wearing right there. Baker fucking Mayfield just seems to be riddled with injuries at this point. I mean, his ankles fucking hurt, his knees fucking hurt, his shoulders fucking hurt. I mean, this guy goes out there, he takes one hit. I mean,
Love the heart.
right?
It's like,
I think that, just on that a little bit, I think that Baker just embodies everything that Cleveland is. Going out there.
Darn
playing
man.
hard. Yep. And he's going to have something to prove. He played amazing against the Bengals. And I think that people loses in the AFC North this week. Everybody's at 6 wins, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a tough division right now.
So anybody
Very
could come
tough.
out on top at this point. I don't think you should count Cleveland out, but this is definitely a must-win for sure.
Yeah, 100%. After Lions had that tie, too,
Yeah, Goff is out too against the Browns.
Tim Boyle will be getting the start.
That might be bad. I mean, I'd probably rather have
Tim-
Goff, but
I don't know. Tim Boyle.
Yeah, I'd rather have Goff. That's what I'm
He
saying.
was, he played under Rodgers, and
He was looking pretty good. He got a start for Green Bay, didn't he?
we'll see what he can do. I'm not.
I think he did last
Might
year.
have.
I
I don't know.
want to say it was either he got a start or he would end up coming in other than Jordan or before Jordan Love did. But
Yeah, him and Rodgers are good buds, so
Mhm.
maybe he has some of that intel.
it'll be interesting to see what Boyle's able
The
to
weather's
do.
supposed to be piss poor. There's a 90% chance of rain. It's supposed to be 41
Seems
degrees.
like
so-
fucking
That could be-
Cleveland weather.
It could be a
Yeah.
Cleveland game.
100%. So the next game we got the Houston Texans going to take on the Tennessee Titans. What do you guys got?
Though.
Titans.
Tennessee Titans. I mean,
There we
that's a
go.
no-brainer.
Boom, boom, boom,
But-
done.
More than 10 points.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about there.
100%. Next game. This one's going to be a fun one. Green Bay
Looking forward to that one.
taking on the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium. John, who you got winning this game?
I gotta go with the Packers, man. You know,
That defense is atrocious. It's
That's
scary.
The defense. Kirk Cousins is playing amazing football.
Very good.
One of the
Was
best
it 18 touchdowns, 2 picks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like over 25.
He's gonna throw 2 more picks in this game,
Maybe 3.
and maybe 1 touchdown, and the Packers are gonna win this game. And it's gonna be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch.
As a Packers fan, yeah.
So I got Minnesota. I was thinking about going with Green Bay, but some just kind of told me that for some odd reason, I don't know if it just feels like we always go 1-1 with you guys. Like we always give one, take one type of thing. This is not a primetime game, so that helps Kirk Cousins out a little bit because this is a primetime game, which I think the next game against the Packers is. There's no fucking way we're winning that one. There's no goddamn way. And another thing about this game, it's not at Lambeau. But I do understand how Green Bay, they are home, and then, go Pack, go started going. I mean, this is going to be a fun game. Apparently, there's supposed to be like 47 points scored in this game. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, hard-nosed, close football game right down to the final second. Ultimately, the Vikings just don't look good in one-possession games lately. I mean, 8 of last 9, we have just shit the bed.
How many points did you say it was supposed to be?
47. That was 30, like 20-17.
I was thinking like 24-21.
Really?
So that's
Just a
very close
shootout?
to 47 points being scored.
Really? Yeah.
44.
And I know Minnesota's getting back Patrick Peterson. We are missing Michael Pierce. But Green Bay's defense is the last couple weeks. My God, like they are
People stepping up.
right.
Love
They
it.
are playing phenomenal football. And I think you
Looking
guys got
unbelievable.
Bakhtiari back. So it'll be a fun game. It'll be a close one. I do have Minnesota. Logan, who do you have?
Green Bay.
Heck
The
yeah.
defense. It's not so much the offense that I'm worried about for either side. I think the defenses are going to have a big game. Minnesota's defenses look good too. So it's going to be a defensive game, low scoring.
Heck yeah. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins going to take on the New York Jets. Logan, who do you got winning this one?
Miami.
I also have Miami. The Jets are not looking good.
If this game would have been 2 weeks ago, I would have picked the Jets. But
Yeah, 2-game win
Miami
streak.
coming
Miami.
off
2 games. They won.
two-game win streak.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe things are going in the right direction for Miami.
And
And
just beat Baltimore.
Jets just seem like a mess.
Yeah, the Jets. I mean, if they have Zach Wilson, I don't know.
I still don't know.
I don't know who they did. I thought it was Mike White. He threw 4 or 5 picks last week.
Yeah.
So.
Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Eagles beating the Saints. The Saints are banged up. They're missing Alvin Kamara this week. I have a feeling Philadelphia might take this one. They might be the underdogs, and they're looking pretty solid as of recent. It just depends on their defense. But I got Philadelphia. John?
I also have Philadelphia, which same reasons. New Orleans being banged up, Philadelphia being at home. You know, it's hard to pick Nick Sirianni over Sean Payton, but you know, Philly, they're a hit-and-miss team, and I think that they hit this week.
I do too.
I'm taking New Orleans, just a gut feeling. I really don't have much else to say.
Heck yeah, that'll be also another bang. This whole week seems like a lot of nuts games gonna be happening. Like
This whole
close
season's
battles.
been unpredictable and just close games.
Oh
all
yeah,
over the place.
this will be another fun week to see how our records go.
Yeah.
Next game, we got the Washington football team going to take on the Carolina Panthers. I have the Carolina Panthers winning this game, solely off of Cam fucking Newton, what he's doing right here in the Superman. I mean, it is perfect. Ron Rivera's coming back to Carolina with the Washington football team. I mean, you can't write a better script than this. I think Cam goes out there and has a pretty solid day, gets the dub, his first on the season for the Panthers, and moves forward and gets that fan base rolling again. Carolina.
Ron Rivera versus Cam Newton. Ron Rivera knows what he struggles in. Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded coach. So I am going with the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. I think that he's going to go off this game, and I think he's throwing 5 freaking touchdowns. I'm so excited for Cam.
Yeah.
He might rush for 5, actually. And this man, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. Who do you got?
Cam Newton and the Bengals. Wrong cat.
Yeah, right.
And the Panthers, they're gonna roll. Cam's gonna come back and
Goddamn game
push
of the
them
week.
right into the playoffs. They're in the playoffs now, but he's gonna keep them there. So
Hopefully, we'll see. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings need that opportunity, but we're probably not going to get it.
right,
What was their record?
We are 4-6. No, 4-5.
4 and 5. The Panthers are 5 and 5, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
They actually played 9 games.
I think the NFC, AFC both have like 3 or 4 teams that are all with 1 game out of the last season.
Yeah, that
so
wild
competitive.
card is right there.
Yep.
So the next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers going to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. John, who do you got winning?
Sam Fran.
San
I like how
Fran.
they've been playing.
Yeah, they've been playing real good. I think it's good football. Logan, who do you got?
Jimmy G and San Fran.
I also have San Fran.
Gee, looking good.
Jacksonville is just, I mean, they have what it takes.
They got fight.
Do they have 2 wins now in this season?
Mhm.
Wow, good for them.
Urban.
That's crazy.
Getting
He might earn
bad
himself a
swing.
job next year.
2
With
wins.
that one. Wow.
Both of them are on different continents.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How many coaches can say that shit?
Yeah, not many. Urban can, though.
Urban Meyer, the GOAT. Coach
He's
of the year.
got two wins with his 2 fingers up there, so that is what it is. Yeah, that's an easy pick, I think. But hey, Jacksonville did shock the world, beat the Bills, so that was fun. Next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. For me, going Cincy. Still on that on my high horse, saying that Las Vegas is just a team that's torn apart. None of them are going to be on the same page. They have no chemistry. Derek Carr is literally the only thing trying to keep that thing afloat. It's not afloat. It is sunk really, really deep into the ocean. Probably hit the fucking floor by now. But they are a mess. Cincinnati's coming off a bye week. I think they play really well against the Raiders in Allegiant Stadium. John?
Cincy as well. I think it's going to be a good game. Both teams, same record. Yeah, Cincy coming off the bye after a few embarrassing performances. They got to get things going in the right direction. Who knows what's going through Raiders players' minds right now. Cincy.
Yeah. Logan?
I'm going with the Raiders. I think Cincinnati's at a crossroads right now. If you watch that Cleveland game, forcing it to Jamar Chase over, forcing it. And defenses have figured it out. Cleveland ran 1-on-1 against Jamar Chase because that was enough, because they knew the ball was going to go there and stay close. So I think Cincinnati's trying to figure a lot of things out right now. I think they need to stick more to the run game. If they do that, then they win, but I'm taking Vegas.
Heck yeah. So the next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys going to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Logan, who do you have winning this one?
I'm going Dallas.
Any reason behind that one?
I feel like Kansas City's looking too good lately, and I think they're going to be back to their old ways this week when they meet Dallas. So,
Okay. John, what do you got?
I wanted so bad to pick the Chiefs, but I have to go Dallas. I think Dallas's offense against the Chiefs' horrible defense is just going to be a horrible matchup. That's going to put Patrick Mahomes in a situation where he has to force his balls, and that's what he does when he gets behind. He just chucks them down the field, and that's when he starts making the mistakes. So Dallas will put him under that pressure that he doesn't want to be in, and that's what's going to cause mistakes, and Dallas is going to win this game.
I also have Dallas for a lot of those same reasons. I think like you hit it on it really nicely where when Patrick Mahomes, if they get behind, he's just going to start slinging that ball, hoping and praying, and like you said, that's where his mistakes come from. That's where his interceptions come from. He's going to have to really ball out and play good football if he's going to want to win this game, I think. And with Dallas coming off that, 43-3 victory like last week, that is, just ridiculous what they're able to do. But Dallas is a strong team, and, you guys have Dak for early MVP, so I have Dallas as well. So the next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals going to take on the Seattle Seahawks in what should be a showdown. Should be a really, really fun matchup, depending on if Kyler starts. I have Arizona winning this game. Something just doesn't sit right with me for Seattle. When Russell was playing against Green Bay last week, I get it was cold and stuff like that. The finger probably was acting up. But every time he threw the ball, it seemed like he was trying to keep the pressure off that finger a little bit too much, where I think it was affecting his throws. He was overshooting people. It did not look like sound football from what I was seeing. But, it's another week. You get warmer weather, especially when I guess it's in Seattle. It's probably going to be cold, windy, rainy. But I got Arizona. I think they'll be just fine if Kyler's playing, and I don't know if he's going to or not, but I got Arizona. Logan?
I'm going to take Seattle on this one. I think they're embarrassed off that loss last week. They're back at home. Russell Wilson's first game back at home since he's been injured, so I think Seattle.
I also got Seattle. Russell has another week to ice his finger. Last week looked rough, but he played a damn good defense in the Green Bay Packers defense at Lambeau in a cold game with his first time playing with that finger. That sucker was sore. Arizona, they're a great team, and I think that they're going to try forcing Kyler Murray back into this game. He's probably going to be playing at 80%. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be in this game.
I doubt it.
And
It didn't look like it from what I saw today.
when you're not healthy, you want to go to your most reliable guy if he's not there. He has tons of other weapons, but I just think Seattle at home will overpower Arizona this week and make that division even more competitive than what it already is.
Yeah, this is one of those games that could go either way because there's no way Seattle, they just got shut out. They're going to be pissed. They're going to put points on the board.
Yeah.
It's just, can Arizona's defense stop Russell Wilson? And that's Seattle
They got a
Seahawks.
good defense, too.
It'll be interesting how that one goes down. It'll be a fun game for that one. The next game, which is Sunday Night Football, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers want to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. I have the Chargers winning this game. Pittsburgh, they have till Saturday to activate Big Ben from COVID. And if that's done, I feel like they might be fine, but they just have so many question marks on their team that offensively, I should say, because they're going to run the ball 20-plus times with Najee Harris. They're going to move the ball here and there, make the time run off the clock a little bit, but they can't. Their only receiver is Chase Claypool. Pat Freiermuth with his...
Is Chase Claypool good?
He's
a little banged up last week, I know.
I think he's going to be a little banged up, or still a little banged up this game. But for some reason, the Chargers, they're all around put together team. They're a good football team offensively and defensively. So I got the Chargers winning this one. John, what do you got winning?
I did not know that Big Ben wasn't playing. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, not for sure, but
since I already picked them, I think that the Chargers kind of look how they looked last year. Really talented, really good. but for some reason they can't
Few
win
games.
games.
Yeah.
So I like Mike Tomlin coming back after a freaking embarrassing tie with the Lions.
Yeah, that would suck.
He doesn't like that shit. He's gonna go and get a really, really, really close win, and it's all gonna be Tomlin.
You know, with that fucking tie, he is on the board for the NFLPA. Like, is there any way they could fucking figure out how to change that stupid shit?
Here we go.
What the hell? I'm so sick of ties. Like, it doesn't make any fucking
Yeah,
sense.
we should have a tie on our record.
I counted it as a
Yeah.
loss
Oh.
because we none of us picked it right. 'Cause who would have thought it was a tie? I thought at first I put it as a tie. And I was like, no. I'm like, this is a loss for all of us here. But Logan, who do you got winning?
I got the Chargers. I think
Okay.
that this is a must-win for them. They don't win this, they kind of kiss their season goodbye. And the Steelers, even if they do have Big Ben, still searching for that identity. And I think they're going to have that tie in the back of their minds, a lot of those players, and they're going to be overcompensating, not playing to their best. So.
Yep. I can see that happening. So for our final pick of Week 11, Monday Night Football is going to be between the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game. Giants, they're not a good football team at all. I don't think they have players here and there, but
I think we've said that before about the Giants playing against Brady.
yeah, I suppose it's not fun to go through, cry like a little bitch. I'll never forget that day. That sucked. That was just awful. But Tampa Bay's gonna win this one, plain and simple. Who do you guys got?
That's what I got to do is Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. But just want to put this on the record that I do have a gut feeling that the Giants might win this. So if they do, I said it, but I'm still picking the Bucs.
It's a twofer, huh? It's a twofer.
Win-lose or win-win situation. Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. Well, that is going to do it for the show today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you're on YouTube or Facebook, especially YouTube, go hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. Just go type in Get Your Fix with the Wicks on YouTube and watch there if you need to. Facebook is easy, I guess, for some of you. But with that being said, like I said earlier, go enjoy the rest of your night, your weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, I should say. And you just got your fix with the Wicks and Company.